Welcome to this edition of The Forum. I'm your host, Sheila Evans. We have a great show in store for you today with three wonderful guests. Things get underway with Bob Hedden from Toys for Tots. He will tell us about the annual toy drive and how it helps make sure the kids have a Merry Christmas. Then we meet with Brett Queen. He's the men's head basketball coach at Hoggard High and will tell to us more about this year's Leon Brogdon tournament. And to close out the show, Beth Gaglione from the food bank will join us. She will talk about the donations that they got during Hurricane Florence and what they're doing this holiday season to help our community. It's another edition of The Forum, so we'll get right back with you after these messages.
Your company can join these local businesses in offering students with disabilities the much-needed experience to compete in today's job market.
To see the kids every day come in and certainly have a sense of accomplishment and get to do a job well done, it's very enriching to not only the kids but also to all of us around here.
For young people with disabilities, participating in mentoring programs, job shadowing, and internships are great ways to make them stand out among other job applicants.
I'd say it's kind of a win-win. I mean, not only are you doing the right thing for the community and these kids, but you're also allowing them to grow and get the skills necessary to be successful in the future.
Internships serve as skill-building tools for students to obtain vital career development. If your business would like more information on how it can benefit from adding a student intern from New Hanover County Schools to its roster, please contact the Special Education Department now at 254-4445.
They're doing a fantastic job and we couldn't be happier.
It is Toys for Tots time, and I have Bob Hedden. He's the Assistant Toys for Tots Coordinator for Wilmington. And Bob, tell us, how did Toys for Tots even get started?
It's a pretty good story. In 1947, Diane Hendricks had been making a lot of handcraft dolls, and she wanted to make sure that some children, underprivileged children, got the dolls. So she asked her husband to find some groups that would distribute those. He was unable to find them, and so being a good wife, she told him to start a group up, which he did. And he was an active reservist at the time out in California. And he's actually the director for Warner Brothers Public Affairs. So he had a lot of celebrity friends. Walt Disney was one of his personal friends. And he started a group that year collecting toys. And that's when it got started, 1947.
So it had a lot of big support from the beginning.
It did, and they raised, I think they collected about 5,000 toys that very first year. And as a result of that, typical military, they did an after-action report. It worked its way up to headquarters Marine Corps, and the Commandant said this is a good deal, good program, and directed that it be run by the Marine Corps Reserves, which it's been doing that since 1947.
Cool, very cool. I did not know that story. What kind of donations are you typically looking for?
Well, this time of year, we're using primarily toys, but we do get cash contributions, but they run programs throughout the year. Golf outings and fundraisers, but at this time of the year, starting in about mid-October, we send out boxes and do different events, charity events and everything. So we're looking for new unwrapped toys or cash contributions, and then they're collected around mid-December and then sorted, inventoried, and distributed.
And a lot of community groups hold their own fundraisers, don't they? I think I saw one on Saturday.
Absolutely. We have over 400 boxes here in the greater Wilmington area.
Nice.
To different businesses. And then individual at the convention center, the Women for Wilmington just had a big convention center event, and we collected a lot of toys there. And Harley Davidson does a very good job collecting lots of toys, bicycles, and whatnot.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, I saw Hells Angels of North Carolina, I think, did one on Saturday.
Right.
Down at Carolina Beach.
I'm not sure how the motorcycle groups get all the toys, but they do a
I tell
fantastic
you,
job.
they were collecting a lot of stuff.
They do.
Yes.
They do. They're one of the biggest collectors for the toys.
So what age group of children are you looking to serve?
Basically from newborn to 13 years old.
Okay.
And the 9 to 13 are some of our toughest age groups to fill. But we have supplemental toys out of our foundation, which is located up in Quantico, Virginia.
Okay.
Where they see an extra need, then they send supplemental toys because they're doing fundraising throughout the year. Because of the hurricane, this is we have extra focus down here in the Wilmington area, and we're getting a lot of outside support as well.
So we're getting outside support. Do we have that need? Is the need greater this year post-hurricane?
I think so. We've Art, who is the committee chairman for our group, he and I have been receiving a number of calls where we from individual moms that are asking for help because they've lost everything, their homes, all the toys and everything else. So I think there's I don't have a exact number, but there seems to be a significant increase in that.
In those phone calls that you typically
Yes, ma'am.
weren't getting in at that. How does someone donate and where?
Well, we have, as I had mentioned, we have over 400 boxes throughout town, the city, and you can go on our site, which is toysfortots.gov, drop down menus if you have the computer, and you can look at Wilmington, and then they'll be located a lot of, they'll show the locations for a lot of those sites. Otherwise, just wander around town, shop at normal shop, and you can see that, or you can send a check to the Toys for Tots Foundation, and that goes to Quantico, Virginia.
And they can find that on the website as
They
well?
can find that as well, or they can call Art and I, and we're happy to pass that information out.
Very good. How do people request toys? How's that work?
Same thing. They go on the site, they find out for their area, Wilmington, and in this case, for Wilmington, it's through the Salvation Army. And there's an application to show the need, and if you miss the shut-off date on that, again, there's some other avenues, and my recommendation would be to call Art and I, because we don't want anyone to be left out.
Gotcha. Tell me a little bit about the success of the program.
Yeah, since 1947, I think they have collected over 548 million toys, and probably passed those toys out to, I think, 21 million or so children.
So an idea that started with 5,000 year one. Wow.
Yes, ma'am. And
what a legacy.
Last year here in Wilmington, we collected over 26,000 toys.
Nice.
And 700 bicycles, 750 bicycles or so. So we have done, we do pretty well here in the Wilmington area. The people are very, very generous and charitable.
Okay. And just tell us one more time how people can get more information.
They can go on to toysfortots.gov
okay.
and look at that site. It's a drop-down menu, and depending on what they're looking for, there's a history of the program. There's how to contact. There's a lot of information on that. Or they can call Art and I, and we'll be happy to send them.
Are your numbers on that website? Or are you able to share that?
They should be on the website, but I can share that. And I'm not sure if there was a scroll or not that you were gonna.
There will be at the end.
There will be at the end. Okay.
Okay.
But we're happy to have take those calls.
Very good. Excellent. Well, thanks for taking the time to come by and update us on Toys for Tots. Hopefully you'll collect more than you did last year and meet the needs that we have in this community. We thank you for your time, and I'll be back in a few minutes right after these messages.
Get connected with your school system. Your School News covers news that matters for parents, guardians, and Greater New Hanover County. Stories about preparing students for success in a changing world. Stories where students are achievers.
Internship, we pretty much made a vehicle from spare parts, and at first we made it so it just moved, and then we made it so it was an electrical vehicle.
Stories of teaching where every child yearns to learn.
Today is all about STEAM. STEAM is kind of the key word to tying art into science, technology, engineering, and math.
Your School News brings viewers more than 8 hours of school news and information, reporting on what's happening in the district, what students are learning, how the school system operates, and beyond. Your School News, only on this channel.
I have Hoggard's men's head basketball coach with me, Brett Queen, here to talk about the Leon Brogdon Holiday Tournament. Brett, tell us what we need to know.
Well, the tournament this year is going to be at Hoggard High School. We decided a few years ago to rotate it around among the high schools, and so it'll be at Hoggard. It's December 27th through the 29th, right after Christmas. Boys and girls tournaments, both at Hoggard.
Okay.
We've got 2 gyms right there next to each other, so we'll play 4 games each day in each gym.
Oh, wow.
The first 2 days on Thursday and Friday, the games will start at 3 o'clock. We'll play at 3, 4:30, 6, and 7:30.
Okay.
Once again in both gyms, and we stagger it so at 3 o'clock there'll be a boys game in the Hebby gym and a girls game in Bowles, and then it'll flip-flop all day long. So if someone wants to come and watch all the girls games, they can see all 4 of them, and if somebody wants to see all the boys games, they can see all 4 of those. And then so we'll do 3 through 7:30 starts. On Saturday, the last day of the tournament, we're going to start earlier to get the teams headed home a little earlier. So we'll go at 12, 1:30, 3, and 4:30 is when the championship game will be. For the boys, 3 o'clock will be the girls' championship game on Saturday. So, really excited about the field that we have coming in. Obviously, the 4 New Hanover County schools all play in it. On the girls' side this year, we've got Union Pines, East Bladen, my mind's going blank on the other, Conway from South Carolina, and Pamlico. Pamlico made a nice run in the state playoffs last year. They're a really talented 1A school. And then on the boys' side, we've got an incredibly strong field coming. Summerville, South Carolina, their head coach is David Long. He was a JV coach at Laney High School for a few years, so he's bringing his team back. J.H. Robinson from Concord, and their head coach is LeVar Batts, who played at Hoggard. He was a senior the very first year I helped out at Hoggard, and so he's bringing his team back.
Nice.
And then the other 2 teams, Millbrook, who has been here quite frequently, and they're one of the top teams in the state this year, and then Forest Hills, who won the 2A state championship last year and only graduated 1 player off of that team. So I think we've got a really talented field coming in. So it should be a good 3 days here.
Lots of good basketball.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell us about tickets. How does it work?
We've got a couple of different ways you can buy tickets at the door. The tournament pass is $25 for an adult, $15 for a student, and then the day passes are $10 for an adult, $7 for a student. We will also sell passes online. Through the GoFan app, which the people here in New Hanover County that have done that at football and basketball games for our schools will be familiar with that, and we'll have that set up soon here to be able to do that. The Brogdon there's a Brogdon tournament website that people can go to. It's just brogdontournament.com, and then but people will be able to buy tickets in both ways at the door.
Gotcha. How many years has this been going on now?
This is the 25th year that it's been called the Leon Brogdon Holiday Basketball Tournament. So, it existed in some form before that. There were a couple of different sponsors. The girls had their own tournament for a while, and then about 10 years ago they moved over, and we've been doing it together. But this is the 25th Leon Brogdon Tournament.
Very good. And it's been real successful with the girls and boys together, right?
Right. It's great for everybody to be able to come to one location and do it all after Christmas. The girls used to do theirs before Christmas, and I think the girls' coaches kind of liked doing it before Christmas and not having to deal with the post-Christmas games.
Right.
But it is the attendance is better with us all being together, and people can come and see both their boys and girls teams at the same time. After Christmas, there's usually a lot of family in town, so we get some some of the family that have come for Christmas can see their their kids, grandkids, and nephews and nieces, and everybody play. So it's been successful for us.
So what do you think are the benefits of the tournament for the teams?
Well, you obviously get a chance to play against good competition. You get a chance to play 3 days in a row, and it's usually a way to kind of springboard into your conference play after the season. Really kind of gauge where your team is. It's an opportunity for us to make some money for our programs because every year, we ask for people to sponsor the tournament in a variety of ways, and we really do a good job of taking care of the out-of-town teams that come in. We provide hotel rooms for them and provide a couple of meals for them, and try to make it a really good experience. And people that that come want to come back. So I think we're doing a good job with that. But then money that's left over at the end of the tournament goes directly back into the basketball program. So when people are supporting this tournament, you're supporting the tournament itself, but you're also supporting the individual schools and basketball programs. And so it's a great way for our tournament to help out the individual schools and teams.
Gotcha. Now, how would you say the tournament affects the community?
Well, bringing some good basketball to town and seeing some good teams. We've had teams that have come in that have gone on to win state championships and competed at a very high level, and so it's a chance for them to see some good basketball, and it brings 8 out-of-town teams into the community for a couple of days, and gives us a chance to show off our town. And like I said, people that come to the tournament always want to come back.
Nice.
We have we have people, and we tell them, we're just not going to invite the same team 2 years in a row. And but Millbrook's one that, they would come every year. They ask us every single year about coming, but we try to rotate around and give a lot of people an opportunity. But it makes you feel good that you're doing something right, because there's all kinds of Christmas tournaments that people can go to, but the people that come to the Brogden want to come back.
Very good. Remind us one more time the dates.
December 27th through the 29th.
Okay.
All games at Hoggard, 8 games each day, starting at 3 o'clock on Thursday and Friday, and then starting at noon on Saturday.
Very good. Brett, thanks so much for sharing that information, and I'll be back in a few minutes right after these messages.
Start your day with New Hanover County Schools, the morning show. This Rise and Shine program will put a smile on your face and a spring in your step. Best of all, you'll start the day a little smarter, knowing more about our district leaders and teachers, discovering new frontiers in science and technology, and getting the latest school news from across the district. New Hanover County Schools, the morning show, educating all viewers to achieve today and tomorrow in a global community. Only on this channel.
I am joined by Beth Gaglione. She is the Wilmington Branch Director for the Food Bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina. Welcome, Beth.
Good morning.
Let's talk about, just for a little bit, Hurricane Florence.
Yes.
and what kind of responsibilities and responses you had.
So out of the 34 counties that we serve as a whole organization, not just here in Wilmington, 27 of them were impacted by the storm.
Wow.
And so, unlike Matthew, which was also a devastating storm, it did not impact as many counties that we serve. But this one was just a swath of devastation. And so I was just sharing a story with someone earlier this morning that what we see, and I think what we see after most storms, is that for those who went into the storm with the least, they also are having the hardest time recovering from the storm. And so we expect it's going to be a long process to recovery, especially for those families.
Gotcha. Now, we use that term food insecure. Can you explain what that is a little bit?
Yeah, the simplest way I find to explain it to people is that if you wake up in the morning and I say to you, where will your next meal come from? And if your answer is, I'm not sure, that's food insecurity.
Gotcha.
So for most of us, the answer is breakfast out of the fridge, or someone will have dinner prepared for me when I get home. Wouldn't that be lovely?
Yeah.
Not sure I know what that feels like anymore, but I know I can prepare food for my family when I get home from work this evening. And that's what it feels like to be food secure. So for those of us who are not sure where our next meal is coming from, that's how we define it.
Gotcha. Now, tell me a little bit about the holidays meal drive.
So the holiday meal drive is really important. Although people are naturally thinking about food on the table during the holidays, it is always necessary to remind people that it is a time of the year that people really want to provide for their families, provide for their neighbors, provide for themselves. Food is a gift during the holidays, and so we do want to make sure that there's a warm meal on everyone's table this holiday season.
Okay, so tell me about the drive itself.
Sure. And so we are mailing to households, and we are asking for groceries at grocery stores
Okay.
like Food Lion and Harris Teeter and Lowe's are all running food drives for
Nice.
us. And so that's a great way to respond. But the easiest way to give during the holiday season is through our website, which is at foodbankcenc.org. Great way to give.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you are able to change those dollars into lots of meals.
We are. And so traditionally, $1 donated creates 5 meals, which for lots of reasons is the
amazing.
case. I mean, we can buy at bulk. We also take into consideration all the food donations we receive, and so the cost of distributing them is included in that. But what's really cool during the Holiday Meals campaign is that a group of donors have come together, have donated about $75,000 to us.
Very
So
nice.
for every dollar you give, they are going to match it at $1. So during the Holiday Meals campaign, $1 turns into 10 meals. So that's pretty cool.
Very nice, very nice. What are the most items that you need, most needed items, I guess, at the food bank?
So we see a lot of canned donations, fruits, vegetables, but what we don't see as often is canned protein, things like tuna or ravioli, which has beef in it, or canned or donated peanut butter is often needed. So those things that have high amount of protein that come in a can or a jar are always needed items. But you know, people often forget too that if you're food insecure, you're probably missing other items in your household too. And so things like cleaning supplies are always needed, even personal hygiene items like toothpaste and toothbrush. So if food isn't your thing, personal hygiene might be your thing.
So you can collect that as well?
Absolutely.
Okay,
And
I did not know that.
They fly
Did
out
not
of the
know
food
that.
bank. Shampoo, conditioner,
Right.
toiletries, things of that nature. So we do. We don't, during the hurricane recovery, they have been wonderful items to have because they're just flying out the door,
Sure.
as you can imagine.
Now, is it appropriate to bring you the hotel stuff that you've never
Absolutely.
opened?
Love it.
And okay,
Absolutely. Those are great. We see a lot of that.
very good. Talk to us a little bit about after the holiday season.
So after the holiday season, you know, people are thinking about their other charitable giving, which is great. So we tend to really utilize the donations that we receive in November and December. They probably last us until middle of February
Okay.
or early March. And so we will be looking after the holiday season to replenish those shelves during that time of the year. But the need is still there. The need is all year long. And so we'll have other opportunities for giving in the springtime.
So how can viewers find out more information or make a donation?
So the best way is to visit our website at foodbankcenc.org. There they'll find not just information about how to give, but good information about the work we've been doing since Hurricane Florence, the work we do all year long, how your donation will go to work, where it will go to work, and stories about the people that we serve. I think it's important for them to learn that it's, you know, it's not just those people over there. These are your neighbors, your friends, the seniors that live on your street. Hunger is everywhere.
Sure. What about volunteer opportunities?
So we have been flush with volunteers, I have to
good.
tell you, since the storm. One of the most heartwarming things that I experienced after Hurricane Florence was, you know, that our students from New Hanover County Schools were off school for almost a month, I think
Yeah.
it was. If we didn't receive 10 calls, we received 30 calls a day from moms wanting to get their kids to work. They were at home looking for things
Sure.
to do, and they were very helpful,
Excellent.
especially those in the age range of 11, 12, and up. And so we are looking for families that want to come. We have a family day once a month.
Nice.
Kids Day, I should say, where you can bring your kids and we'll have kid-friendly activities. But all that information is available on our website as well.
Excellent. What a
We
great
take
lesson.
volunteers Tuesday through Saturday.
Very good, very good. Well, Beth, thanks for stopping in and giving us an update. And
Thanks for
hopefully
having
the
me.
holiday meals drive surpasses what you hope it will do.
I think that it will.
Very good. We'll be return in just a few minutes after these messages.
Global 3000, a DW production. Little things can have a huge impact throughout the world. Globalization Magazine, Global 3000.
We hope you've enjoyed our program today. For more information about Toys for Tots, please visit toysfortots.org, or you can call 703-282-3649, extension 101. If you'd like to learn more about this year's Leon Brogdon Holiday Tournament or purchase tickets, you can contact one of the 4 traditional high schools. The tournament begins on December 27th. And if you're interested in donating to the food bank, please call 910-251-1455. If you ever have any questions about the topics discussed here on our show today, please call the school system's public relations office at 254-4106 or check out the school system's website at www.nhcs.net. I'm Sheila Evans, and thanks for joining me today. We hope you all have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.